welcome everyone. I'm going to lower the music a little bit. Okay. So again, I hope everyone had a nice week. So this is another extended session, and this is our last one before the 7-week course that'll start on September 19th at 8 p.m. So same time, same link. So we hope to see everyone then. Welcome. This is the Jeung meditation session. Before So today's session will be a recap of sessions 2 and 3, where we discussed the chanting mantra, chanting meditation, and circulation. So I combined the two sessions so that we can have a more fulfilling practice. So so in session 2, we had discussed mantra meditation. And in session 2, I had mentioned that mantras have always been an essential tool for humanity's enlightenment. The Sanskrit word mantra means instrument of the mind. Many practices use mantras in meditation to help improve concentration and increase awareness. In Jeung there is another purpose. Sound is energy. A mantra is a combination of sacred sounds that forms the foundation of the universe. When you recite the mantra with purpose, you will allow yourself to absorb the pure energy of the universe much better. What does this mean to recite something with purpose? Simply, it means reciting it with one mind, a state of absolute focus. The mantras we will learn in this practice are the two main mantras of Jeung, the Teruchu mantra and the Shichanjuju mantra. The Teruchu mantra is comprised of 23 sounds. The Teruchu mantra embodies the sacred Hum sound, considered the original sound of the universe. It is the sound all living things make when they breathe, and it is also the breath of the universe. The Shichanjuju mantra abounds with the chi of heaven and earth. Chanting it will help us achieve oneness with heaven and earth. We are referring to the chi of creation transformation here, or Yurya. And Yurya is the fundamental force in the universe. It is the basis for the endless power of creative change. Everything in this universe came into being from the flow of yin and yang. And Yurya represents the purest state of yin and yang. We'll explain this in greater detail in later sessions, but for today, this should be enough for us to continue the practice. In mantra meditation, how we recite the mantras makes a big difference. When repeating a mantra, we be mindful of the sound of the mantra while also focusing on becoming one with the mantra. So when we say be mindful of the sound, that means feel the vibration as you're reciting the mantra reverberate through your body and through the energy vessel. After we practice chanting the mantras, we will combine the chanting with our breathing meditation, consciously moving our energy up and down the governing and conception vessels. To recap session 3, the governing vessel starts from the lowest part of the body, and I'll bring the slide up here. And as you can see here, the governing vessel starts at the perineum, which is the lowest part of your body while seated, located between the anus and the genitalia. And we move up, and this vessel moves up and along your spine, touching the crown chakra, without stopping there, but instead moving down your face to your philtrum, which is the part between the upper lip and your nose. The conception vessel starts from the groove between your chin and your lower lip. So there's a little bit of a gap between the governing and conception vessels. and it travels down the front of your body to the perineum. So it's not uncommon for some people to place their tongue on the roof of their mouth to connect these two vessels, but you can also connect the vessels through your thoughts as you're meditating and circulating the energy around your body. So we will move our breath and energy along each of the vessels with each recitation of the mantra. For example, as we chant in our minds, 시천주 조화정 지기금지 원이 대강. So that's one recitation. So we're going to do that on the way up, and then on the way down, we're going to recite another recitation of the mantra. So 시천주 조화정 영세불망만사지 지기금지 원이 대강. So that sounds so you can recite it as quickly or as slowly as your breath will take you. So again, it's important for you to go at your own pace. So there's no need to rush, or there's no need for you to feel like you have to, force yourself to lengthen your breath, because all of that will happen over time. So again, as we breathe in and consciously bring our energy up and along the governing vessel, stopping at the philtrum, we're going to recite the Shichunjuju mantra once from beginning to end, and then starting from the lower lip, the start of the conception vessel, we're going to recite it once more as we bring our breath down along that vessel to the perineum. And then you'll just continue that cycle over and over again. So let's chant the mantras together a few times before we try it with the breathing meditation. And then when we start, I'll play the audio, the dynamic meditation audio, so that we can do it with the rhythm. But then first, I'd like to just practice our breath as we move our energy and our breath along the governing and the conception vessels. In session 3, we actually only focused on the penetrating vessel, which cuts through the middle of our body, starting from the crown chakra and ending at the perineum. So we would go up and down this vessel along with our breath and the mantras, which is a more direct way of moving energy through our body. However, it's quite effective if we can learn to master moving the energy along the governing and the conception vessels. It's a little bit more challenging because there's more surface area to cover and there's more to navigate, and you're going to feel a lot of blockages along these vessels. So it's not going to be easy in the beginning, and you're trying to coordinate your breath and the mantra, so there's a lot going on. But again, it's not intended to be easy. So just go at your own pace and try to focus on your breath as you're reciting the mantras in your mind, and then just try to move your breath and your energy by bringing awareness to the vessels. So starting at the perineum, you're going to move your awareness, which will carry your breath and your energy along the governing vessel until it reaches the philtrum, and then you're going to bring your breath and energy down the conception vessel until it reaches the perineum, and without stopping, you're going to just continue on this cycle. So let's try it slowly, or again at your own pace, because if we go too slow, then that may be too long of a breath, for us, especially in the beginning. So I'm going to try to set a pace that I think would be good for everybody. But then we're going to start at the perineum. So let's close our eyes. And this is just practice. And again, before we start the meditation, make sure we're sitting on a flat surface, which can be a chair, or you can sit on the floor, whatever is comfortable. All we need is a flat back. So you need to straighten your back. And please draw an imaginary X and Y axis on the floor, much like what we see in the slide. And position your perineum on top of the zero coordinates of this imaginary axis. Position your mind and your consciousness at the center of the universe. So the zero coordinates essentially represent the center of the universe. The body and the mind are not separate, they are one. And correcting your posture, particularly by straightening your back, by pushing your pelvis slightly forward, can help us to focus the mind. So I'm going to bring it back to the slide. So again, close your eyes gently, and you can place your hands gently on top of your knees, or on your stomach, your lower tanjan, or on a desk if you're sitting in front of a desk. Just allow yourself to relax your shoulders. And now we're going to start. Let's start first by breathing once up the governing vessel, and as we breathe out, we're going to come down the conception vessel, and then we'll start with the mantras. So we're going to take a deep breath in slowly as we bring awareness to the governing vessel, and we're going to bring our energy and our breath up along our back. We're going to feel every blockage that we come across and just bring awareness to it. And once we get to our philtrum, we're going to exhale, and we can hold it there for a few seconds as well. And then exhale, we're going to bring our breath and our energy down our conception vessel, down the front of our body, until we reach the perineum. And now we're going to do the same thing with the breath and the mantra. And I'll chant the mantra, but you can just focus on your breath and chant the mantra in your mind. So let's start. So we're at the perineum, and we're going to get ready to take our first breath in. So as you take your breath in, we're going to chant 시 천주 조화 정영세 불망 만사지 지기 금지 원위 대강. Hold, and then we're going to let out our breath. 시 천주 조화 정영세 불망 만사지 지기 금지 원위 대강. So that was one whole cycle with 2 recitations of the Shichonjuju mantra. So we're going to try that again. So as we prepare to take a deep breath in, we're going to bring our awareness to the perineum and get ready to bring our breath and our energy up along the governing vessel. And you can follow my mouse, and I'm going to try to do my best to trace the governing and the conception vessels. So once again, take a deep breath in. 시 천주 조화 정영세 불망 만사지 지기 금지 원위 대강. Hold. 시 천주 조화 정영세 불망 만사지 지기 금지 원위 대강. And let's do it one more time before we do it with the dynamic meditation. So the dynamic meditation will be much faster, so you can breathe in and out at a faster pace, but then you can also control it or moderate it by just following the rhythm, but then just reciting the mantra at your own pace. Just go with the rhythm of the mantra, of the audio, but follow, set your own pace, because we all have different lengths of breath. So, okay. So bring our awareness to the perineum. And as we take our first breath in, 시천주 조화정 영세불망만사지 지기금지 원위대강 hold 시천주 조화정 영세불망만사지 지기금지 원위대강. And then I also find that it's helpful to slightly push out the lower belly as you breathe in. So what that does is it allows more space for you to expand your diaphragm, and that helps you to take in a deeper breath while you meditate. And then as you breathe out, you contract the lower belly. So that's by choice. You can experiment with it, but it's, again, there's a lot going on. There's a lot you're focusing on right now already. So you can either choose to do it now or choose to do it later, but it's definitely helpful. So as you're breathing in, expand the lower belly to expand your diaphragm to take in more breath as you're breathing in, and then you can contract it as you're breathing out. So with that said, we're going to try it with the mantra, and you don't have to recite it out loud. Just recite it in your mind and just listen to the beat of the mantra, the sound. Just focus on the sound, focus on your breath, and focus on moving that energy through the vessels as we meditate. So let's see. So it's going to be 5 minutes each. So we're going to start with the Shichunjuju mantra for 5 minutes, and then it's going to continue. It's going to go straight to the Teruchu mantra. So we'll just do it without stopping.
시천주 조화정 영세불망만사지 지기금지 원위대강 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 시천주 조화정 영세불망
to start at the perineum again.
지음치태울 천사문구 내죄야 노래 내암내사파 지음치태울 천사문구 내죄야 노래 내암내사파 지음치태울 천사문구 내죄야 노래 내암내사파 지음치태울 천사문구 내죄야 노래 내암내사파
Okay, so mm, I hope everyone enjoyed that, and we can if you have any questions, save them until the end because I'd love to hear from you on how that meditation went. So before we uh, so for today, before we end the session, I want to try something a little different. As I mentioned earlier, before we started the session, um, we're going to do something that we haven't done in the other sessions. Uh, uh, during the 7 week meditation course. So it's called creating the Chongdan, or the essence orb of light. And I'm going to bring up that slide. So the Chongdan is this area here. We also call it the lower Tanjan. And as we continue the practice, we should bring our consciousness to the lower Tanjan to strengthen it through the accumulation of water or life energy in that area. And we're going to talk about this in greater detail in later sessions, but it's extremely important to strengthen the lower Tanjan because it serves as the anchor as we continue to embark on this spiritual journey. And again, we're going to explain what it means to serve as the anchor. So this process of building that tanjan or the chongdan is an intentional process and can be achieved with purpose. So the tanjan will get stronger as we continue to circulate our water and fire energies in our body, but only by consciously bringing our focus to that area. And one sign or a few signs of Chongdan creation, or a couple of signs of Chongdan creation, is seeing images of water or seeing a ball of light during meditation, even with your eyes closed. Um, and many of you may have already experienced this phenomenon during your meditation. But if you do see water, or if you do see, it could be in the form of a waterfall, it could be in the form of, you may see a bowl of water. It could be, of any form. But if you see water, or if you see a white ball of light, then uh, that's an indication that you're on the right track. So I'm gonna play a video, and we're going to in the narration they're going to explain a little bit more about Tongdan creation before they go into the actual meditation. So I just want to say before I play the video, they're going to use the mantras during the meditation. So it's going to be dynamic meditation like we just did. But then this time, instead of focusing on the governing and the conception vessels, you're going to bring your awareness to your lower tanjan, this area. So usually they say it's about 3 centimeters below your belly button, in that area, below your belly button. So you're going to bring your awareness there. And the lower tanjan is one of the energy portals that connects us with the universe. And as you're meditating, imagine that you're bringing in uh, the cosmic energy from the universe. And also, as you bring your breath down there, you're accumulating what we call water and life energy. So again, it's gonna actually take a couple of sessions to explain, um, this to explain the technicalities of this part of the process or the practice. But for today, let's just it would be enough for us to just bring our awareness to the lower tanjan as we're breathing. And then when we, again, in a similar way, as we breathe in, we're going to, you can try expanding the lower belly, right? As you're bringing the air in, while you bring the energy and the breath up. And then when you breathe out, you're going to bring the energy and the breath down. And we'll use the penetrating vessel this time instead of the governing and the conception vessels to move our energy up and down but then the whole time you're going to uh, keep your awareness in the lower Tanjan, so that the energy that you're bringing in with your breath is will get accumulated in that area. And then if you have questions, please ask at the end of the session, because this is extremely important in the practice. So we want to make sure that everyone understands exactly how this is done. So let me play the video and let's see.
Are the sounds of Yulryo that birthed the universe. The Shicheonjuju and Tayulju mantras, the gods' two mantras, were completed with these sounds. We'll chant these mantras containing birthed the universe. Om and Hum are the sounds of Yulryo that birthed the universe. The Shicheonjuju and Tayulju mantras, the gods' two mantras, were completed with these sounds. We'll chant these mantras containing Yulryo's creation transformation power to strengthen our lower danjan and purify our upper danjan. Focusing the mantra's light energy in the lower danjan creates the Jongdan, or essence orb of light, basis of eternal life and meditation capability. During this process, you'll see water images. Once complete, you'll see a light egg in your lower danjon. While creating the essence orb, move your arms to the mantra music's rhythm, bringing the energy into your lower danjon.
시천주 조화정 영세 불망만사지 지기금지 원의대강 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 시천주 조화정 영세 불망만사지 지음지태울 천상원고 음니죄야 노래 음니암니사파 지음지태울 천상원고 음니죄야 노래 음니암니사파 지음지태울 천상원고 음니죄야 노래 음니암니사파 지음지태울
Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed that part. And I'm actually looking forward to the Q&A session because, I think a big part of this practice is the interactive part, the interactive portion where we hear from you, the practitioners, on um, how the practice went and to also hear about some of the experiences. So at this time, I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, but before I do so, again, I want to remind everyone that starting next week, we're going to start the first session of the 7-week course. So that's September 19th, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link, the Zoom link is the same, so you can access it the same way as you did today. And I'll also share it in the comment section on the YouTube channel. So with that, I'm going to end the session.